sueño, buenos aires. Y nos fuimos en una, empezamos a la 1. Y con la nota rápido nos dieron las 3. Perreamos toda la noche y nos dormimos a las 10. Ando rezando la Dios para repetirlo otra vez. Y nos fuimos en una, empezamos a la 1. Y con la nota rápido nos dieron las 3. Perreamos toda la noche y nos dormimos a las 10. Ando rezando la Dios para repetirlo otra vez. Dime, beba, fecha y ahorita paso a buscar. Yo le llego donde los demás, tú sabes que no le llegan. Frío de botellas de champán de la copa al brindar, pero solo escucho como late mi corazón cuando ve ese cuerpo escaparate. El traje combina con la Mercedes Granate. No hay otro por más que ellos traten. Quédate, que la noche sin ti duele. Tengo en la mente la pose y todo lo gemido. Que ya no quiero nada que no sea contigo. Quédate, que la noche sin ti duele. Tengo en la mente la pose y todo lo que hicimos. Que ya no quiero nada que no sea contigo. Dale guacha, suelta. Vente pa' Canarias sin el equipaje, sin viaje de vuelta. Por la isla te va a dar una vuelta. Bebé, solo avisa. El sábado te teo, el domingo misa. Estoy a ver si me garantiza que te me pegas como quien graba con Visa y vi salir a las amigas del party y ella se quedó mirándonos a los ojos, no al reloj. Y nos fuimos en Uber al apartamento en privado. Me pedía que le diera un concierto. Le dije que por menos de un beso no canto. Y nos fuimos en una, empezamos a la 1. Y con la nota rápido nos dieron las 3. Perreamos toda la noche y nos dormimos a las 10. Ando rezando la Dios para repetirlo otra vez. Quédate, que la noche sin ti duele. Tengo en la mente la pose y todo lo gemido. Que ya no quiero nada que no sea contigo. Quédate, que la noche sin ti duele. Tengo en la mente la pose y todo lo que hicimos. Que ya no quiero nada que no sea contigo. Que voy a con el piso, yeah, yeah, yeah. LPS, you
I'll be on the drums.
Acércate, deja la duda. La noche fría pero conmigo asegura. Despégate de la amargura y déjame llevarte a tu debida altura. De tus locuras, de tus ideas, de tu cultura y de tu ciencia. La alcanzaré, eso no lo sé. Pero esta noche de mí no te escapas. Esta noche no me guardo las palabras. Soñé siempre con tener esta velada. Y que tengo que contarte a ti, que de mí no te escapas. Esta noche no me guardo las palabras. Soñé siempre con tener esta velada. Y que tengo que contarte a ti. Como Adán y Eva tengamos nuestro pecado. Como dos ladrones un secreto bien guardado. Un camino y un destino asegurado. Donde estos fugitivos se han amado. Y como Adán y Eva tengamos nuestro pecado. Como dos ladrones un secreto bien guardado. Un camino y un destino asegurado. Donde estos fugitivos se han amado. Tú vives con otro y yo medio solas. A mí no me quieren, él no te valora. Él no te saluda ni te dice hola. Y a mí no me hablan a ninguna hora. Vives en una esquina y yo vivo en la otra. Y te miro todo el día a ver cuándo es la hora para acercarme. Quiero sentirte, quiero mirarte más para hablarte.
See Bitcoin. Bitcoin's looking good. Woo. Internet was down for since 9 a.m. Probably would have bought gold by now and been done for the day. Yeah. Maybe. shit, it was been down since like 9 a.m. So I was just laying in my bed, hotspotting myself with my phone. I wouldn't have been able to stream with hotspot. So 3,300 just went below it. Just bounced back above 3,300. I would have probably been in a buy by now. My internet was down. Fucking live in a 5-star hotel. Fucking internet here, you know? Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Alt season's around the corner. Yeah, alt season's around the corner. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's approaching the all-time high. Something's coming. Something's coming. You see all the whip spot? Like, have you guys been watching the price action and you've seen all the whip spot? If any of you guys have been glued to just the price, like not even watching, just seeing the price, like the price, 106, 107, 105, 106, 107, 105, 105, 104, 106, 105, 105, like really whip spy. That's a big, it's interesting to see that type of, like, if any of you have been watching it, you know what I'm talking about, because I know what I'm talking about. So I'm trying to like, maybe you guys can understand, like, because every other hour of the day, it's like Bitcoin 107, Bitcoin 106, Bitcoin 107, Bitcoin 105, 106, 105, 104. Like, you know, does anyone know what I'm talking about? It's been very whip spy, all in, especially on the Sunday breakout. After Sunday broke out, it's been like whip spy, right? They're like good sign of accumulation and converting a lot of when you see that happening, that whip spot, like when I see that, especially at high levels like this, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? From my experience, people are converting and it's accumulation and converting too to other coins. The higher Bitcoin goes, the easier it is for people who have a lot to start converting into smaller cap markets, smaller cap coins, major coins, meme coins, alternative coins, other majors, right? That whip spy price movement you see happening, there's a lot of accumulation going other places too. That whip spy back and forth is like conversions going other places too, and just more accumulation. Especially being at high prices like this, doing that type of movement. Bitcoin 109,000. Let's go. Fuck yeah. Gold chilling right now above. Yeah, so there's when alt season comes, that's maybe around the corner. Maybe around the corner. Who knows? We seen ETH. What's ETH doing? Okay, that's nice. It's not bad. Actually, the price action that it's doing. For instance, I'll show you SUI. Look at SUI. See what SUI did? See how strong SUI moved from $2. Those of you guys in Inner Circle should fucking be on SUI, because we were talking about SUI back in March 12th for long-term plays. Long-term target $10 on SUI. I originally bought at 88 cents, but I rebought. I told you guys when I was rebuying when it was around $2. It actually went below $2. Now we're at like $4 for SUI, 390s. We talked about SUI on March 12th, going into March when it was coming down. I originally bought SUI at 80 cents, 88 cents. I bought more at $2, around the $2 back in March. Still holding. $5 is a good target. Long term, $10 around there, $8, $9. Doubling from here would be $8 pretty much. Pretty much when you look at SUI, it had a big breakout. So it had this big breakout, and look at the price action afterwards on SUI. Once it did this breakout, you have a nice counter trend there that broke out. A nice counter trend breakout right there, fat. That's like, this is, see how this is stronger? Like some cryptos are down here. This is what you got to look for on some of these cryptos right now, is these types of break. Like, see what SUI did? SUI did it sooner. See the breakout SUI had? And then like this, it did a reversal. Like these structures, like HBAR is doing it right now. Some coins are doing it right now. HBAR is doing it. At the bottom here, you can see the price structure on the daily. So there's some coins that are doing it right now. I put, if you're in Inner Circle, I put HBAR in there. We talked about 2 coins the other night. Ondo, I'll bring up Ondo on here. But HBAR, like if you look at HBAR, any under 20 cents is good for HBAR. Anything under 20 cents is good. Between 20 and 15 cents is good for HBAR. Look at the pattern that it's making here. Boom, boom, boom. You can see this area here breaks down, shifts out. So you have some accumulation here even. Like eventually this could pump up, have a good pump. Push up closer to 30s. We'd want to target like higher for it. But the next move, like, you know, one move, you know, long term, obviously. But like when you look at this kind of stage where the market is here. So some coins you can find in this lower, maybe accumulation stage. SUI did a nice, like when you look at the SUI chart, it had a nice breakout. Right, you had this long down bear market here, like most coins, and it shifted out. And you look at like kind of these patterns that it makes after, like this here, this first correction here, this little movement here, right? This, you look at, it broke out, shifted up, made this big push up, and then this little area that forms that range, and then it breaks out of that, and then it's like, again, watch, it's doing it again. It's making another range here, and breakout coming. So when we look at ETH, it's like a similar chart, a similar build up happening on ETH. You can see that little sideways build up potentially happening. Kind of like what, see here, how this made that strong move up. That's, you know, what I see on the chart. ETH, if you feel like you missed Bitcoin, I mean, Bitcoin all-time high, about to make a new all-time high. Maybe as we're live, 109,000 just tapped. If you feel like you missed out on Bitcoin, there's still other coins that will move fast, that eventually you could sell those, convert into Bitcoin. Like ETH is still, you know, ETH still has room to go up long term this year, right? We just broke out of this, so above 2,000 is good for ETH. ETH will probably stay above $2,000 for a bit. And like, so far we can see how prices behaved above 2,000. We pushed up and we've just had more sideways going. We're above 2,000, $2,500, The price is pretty much flirting with that $2,500 price. In this range. Starting to form a range up here. Any drawbacks to like 2,000 or the lower 2,000s, like numbers like 2,100, 2,200, wouldn't be anything to be worried too much about. Like if it were to draw back and pull back to the lower 2,000s, we could say that wouldn't be a terrible thing, right? But for now, when you look at ETH, it's just kind of sideways to me, maybe building up for a next leg up, for a next push up towards $3,000. ETH goes to $3,000, that's going to be really good for a lot of coins. You could see the effect of it pushing. You could see the effect of it going above 2,000 on a lot of coins last week, prior weeks. Solana 173 almost. Nice stuff we're seeing today. If you've been tuning in since February and March, you should know. You should know. Who's been here since those, like, I mean, anybody who's been in my inner circle knows. Like on the weekends, like you guys know, because we've done a lot of weekend calls since March and February, Saturdays and Sundays. Like I've been, and I always said, I'm not trying to be optimistic. Something like you guys have heard me say that, like I'm not trying to be optimistic. Every Saturday and Sunday, those of you guys in my inner circle, you've seen how many headlines we've looked at, how much news articles we've looked at, how many signals we've looked at, that we haven't even had to look at them all. That we got to the point where we realized there's going to be enough. I said it like 3 weeks ago, I think. I was like one day where I was just like, you know what, guys? When I was at my mom's, when was that? I was at my mom's doing a stream. And I was literally like, what I said, guys, like it was when price was down here too. So this would have been on Easter, closer to like back over here. I was saying on one stream in Inner Circle, probably on YouTube too. I probably said it. Like, that there's enough news. Like I said one day, we don't need any more news. There's no more news we need. We don't need U.S. Reserve. There was one session we had, or a time that we had, where I was saying like, there's been enough headlines, there's been enough articles, there's enough news. Like what more information and signals do you need to really help you understand how much adoption's happening, right? You can watch all the podcasts, all the interviews, all the seminars, and you can learn more and study more. But it's like, since December, there's been enough signals, even with the market going down. Inside of all of that, if you were on my sessions, because the way I'm talking right now is how I was talking when the market was going down, when we were in all of this, March, when we were in all the chaos. I was saying, like, there's enough adoption that's been happening since December. There's enough signals, there's enough headlines, there's enough news articles. You can go on Twitter all day, yes. Nothing's gonna change. Nothing more is gonna change the song, right? The sound of the song and the rhythm. It's been how it's been, and it's done what it's done, and it's doing what it's done, right? So like I've always said, like it doesn't really matter. U.S. Reserve, that doesn't even matter. It's global, right? It's not just like a US 30, a Dow Jones, right? That is more subsidized, right? In terms of the US, right? This is a global asset, not just a US asset, right? It's a global asset. America, US wants to be a forefront of it, right? Of crypto. But Bitcoin in general, it's different because it's a global thing. It's not just an American asset like the NASDAQ, S&P, right? Those things, traditional finance, stocks, vehicles. this is a global store of value, right? So when all the sovereign wealth funds start to come in from the UAE and such that have trillions of dollars, billions, the guys that are planning to make their next trillion, their next 50 billion, numbers like that, right? that might seem very far-fetched, right? Saying, but there's conversations like that happen, right, with people that are maybe not at the level you're at, the level I'm at. I've been in some interesting rooms and been around interesting people, and I've seen different types of conversations. So the way you might think about money and how things and value things might be different than the person who has money, the next person who's willing to buy whatever the price is, whatever the cost is of something. There's people who look at something like they don't care about the price. They're going to do what they can to get what they value or what they believe in. So you got to understand that in terms of the race, the race to acquire more of this asset before it goes to 200,000 a coin, right? We'll be watching it all year. It's definitely new all-time high. Let's go. It's definitely an exciting and scary place to be, right? 110,000, right there, like close. But don't be surprised when Bitcoin goes up like this. Never be surprised. Never be super surprised. I wish I was in gold. I wish the internet wasn't down since 9 a.m. I was so cheesed this morning. You should have saw how pissed off I was. Because I was like, this thing's pulling back. I was hot spotting. I was looking at MetaTrader, and I was like, this thing's pulling back. And I just went back to bed and woke up, and I was like, it's still down. That's what happens when you live in a 5-star hotel, guys. That's what happens when you live in the Shangri-La. Gold's at 30. Yeah, that 3,300. Man, was anybody on last night? I did a stream last night. I mean, I always try to stream and show up at times for the market, not times for me. Man, sometimes I'm tired and I'm like, fuck, but I gotta get up, gotta get on the market. Last night, for some of you, last night's time, it was 12 hours ago. We were streaming. We streamed at 9:30, 10 o'clock last night. It might be a weird time for some of you guys that are on different time zones. Because it's later for me. That's it's not at nighttime, so it's not a bad time for me. I'm usually up at those hours. I usually stay up later in London. I don't know if any of you guys were on last night. Some of you guys might have been sleeping. Depending on your time zone, we didn't have that many people on. But I saw after I did the session, more people started to watch it. We went live last night and just analyzed gold. That's all the session was talked about. I think I answered a couple questions at the end. That was really it. Didn't talk about anything else but gold. That $3,300 level, whole numbers aren't everything, but they are very key. If price moves through them, I call it momentum trading. Last night we were viewing gold. Was anybody on last night? I even posted in Discord because I was okay, I like what's happened. I haven't posted much charts in this Discord chat in a bit, but I saw some things to, different perspectives to give. Overall, I was bullish, either looking for pullbacks, continuations, or when I see a chart, when I see last night's a good situation to where price can go with the flow. This is what I was talking about last night. 3,300. It's a psychological level. It's a whole number, right? So we really I mean, they're not everything, but we look at those because even if the price is trending with momentum, if there's momentum and the market's just going with the flow, I'm holding coins. That's 800K. That's how much the portfolio has gone on the month. My portfolio has grown over the last couple of years. So it's actually, it was higher in, my portfolio was higher in January. But now, like, it's pretty much back to where it was because of Bitcoin. When ETH goes to 4,000 again, and there's an alt season, it'll be good. Damn, yeah. It's exciting and scary. You're gonna see conversions. You're gonna see a lot of whip spa movement. It makes sense right now for like conversions, like people converting, swapping. Like that's what people do when they sell in this case, a lot of cases, or converting to USDT. A portion, people like at these levels, people do that. It's really easy to offset, some Bitcoin. If you have one Bitcoin, you could take a percentage of that and put it in a small alternative cap or a smaller cap coin. A lot of people do that when prices move up like this at high levels. But this is like momentum trading. I mean, I hope you guys were on last night. I think I gave a pretty good rundown last night of the charts of gold. I did catch some trades on gold. I was able to that $750 account. So I actually caught the retest of 3,300 in London session. I was actually able to snag some trades. I was able to take $750 to $2,682 in 2 trades and 2 setups. Probably would have been higher if I was on the charts at like 8 or 8:30, 9 in the morning, 9:30. Probably would have been in buys, but honestly, my internet was down for like 2 hours. Fucking hotel life. I was like, I was cheesed. I was cheesed. Because it was working at like 8:30 and then 9 o'clock just fucking down. I'm like, what the fuck? 2 setups. One of them was last night. I caught the 3,300 retest. I had more entries. This was the last entry I kept, and then I ended up closing it. But that was the trade. That was nice movement. Market broke above 3,300. I saw that, and I talked about this on stream like before. This is called forward thinking. Like before I entered the trade, before it broke and pulled back, I was saying like you should go watch the part there. Like there's like different parts where I talk about it, but there's one part where I'm saying there's like resistance here now. So if we break through it, we could potentially retest the zone. This is why I like whole numbers and psychological levels. So yeah, this right here is why I like the whole numbers, the psychological levels, 3,300. You can see last night, this is what I call forward thinking. It's like, okay, the market's in a place where different things could happen. I understand it could come down. Or in this case here, if the market's trending and it's going to keep going with momentum, I like to say, that's where these whole numbers and some price action can help, where I can see resistance here. So if the market breaks above this resistance, I understand that's a good sign that could help it continue with the trend, right? Help it continue, or just an evidence for me. Like it could be evidence that, all right, the market's broke above 3,300. Let's see if it stays above 3,300. Let's see if the $3,300 level holds. Don't tell me the internet dropped again. Did it? Bruh, nah. Don't tell me that. Is this thing dropped again? What the fuck's wrong with the internet today, dog? Bruh. This shit's whack right now. Are we still live? Bruh, my internet's just being weird. We still live? Like, fuck. This shit's cheesing me today. What are they doing today? I gotta figure out. Maybe I got an email. There's a situation. Sometimes this honestly, this isn't the first time. This is not the first time my internet's been whack in this living in a hotel. This has happened from time to time. Happened like 2 FOMCs ago. Oh yeah, okay. Well, cool. Good to know. All right. So I call this like forward thinking. Some of you guys say it's me predicting the future. I'll accept that sometimes. Yeah, I can't predict the future always. There's times I'm wrong, right, about things. So won't always be right, but a lot of times where we get a good sense of direction, know where the market's going. Like having a directional bias is key. Like I wasn't bearish last night. I was saying, sells could happen, but I wasn't bearish. I was more like if the sells happen, I'm looking for bullish. And you'll even hear me say on this stream, like bearish, there's only one option, but bullish, there's three options. If it comes down, maybe there's a setup. If it, I haven't said that part on the stream. I said like bearish, there's one option. It could come down. We know if it comes down, that means something potentially for bullish. But bullish, there's two options, I said. And if you look at what I posted here in Discord last night, posted this for all of you guys in my public Discord. Gold is testing the key psychological level of 3,300. Right now, price looks like it's trying to break and hold above this zone. So that's kind of the thinking. It's trying to break and hold. I like to use these zones as like barriers for the market. If it breaks and it holds, I can, if it breaks above, I can see if it holds this price. Comes close to it, holds it, acts like a support and resistance. This is like the way I think. What I'm writing here is the way I'm thinking too. Like if bullish momentum holds, we could see, like this is stuff I'm thinking when I'm going to the chart and I'm viewing it like this. This is what I'm thinking. The thinking behind it is kind of the last thing I said. Let's see if buyers stay in control. That's more of, again, the thinking behind it. Now we can see if we're looking at London session. So those of you guys who are familiar should know this part. There's a lot we can learn here. London session started here. So 3 a.m. We have 8:30. Right now it's 11:30, so 8:30, 10:30 window. You can see London bearish, New York some bullish. It could keep going up for a swing. If you're in gold buys, like right now would be a good exit point, unless you're trying to swing it and see if the 1 hour keeps going. See what just happened at 3,300. That's why I just test price trust. That's why I'll trust the prices. You could see some wick rejection right there. This thing pumped down early morning, but then came back. Wick rejection. Body's closing bullish above it here. And then it takes off in this hour when I jumped on. It's like little things like that can give you anticipation ahead of time. I mean, we talked about 3,300 all night last night. And the fact that we could just break above it. You can watch the stream. Like there's different parts in the stream. I didn't just talk about it once. Talked about it a couple times throughout the stream last night. And you'll even see what I draw here in a few minutes. Like I'm saying, so it's either one way. It's still like viewing the market like this is a bullish. Like it's a bullish bias, but it's okay. Let's see which way the market moves first. Does it break up first to continue with that momentum? Does it break down to give the pullback retracement type of setup? Oh, my internet was cheesing me there for a minute. So it's kind of like sitting on your hands type of style, even to see which way does the market move first, right? Which way do we go first? Does it go up first? Going up first shows the signs of momentum continuing. Going down, that's okay. We're getting a retracement maybe too. So there could be, like, when you go to a chart, there could be different scenarios. There could be like a plan A, a plan B. If A happens, okay, if A happens, I'll do this. If B happens, I'll do this. Conditional thinking. If you think conditionally, it's conditional thinking. Like if this could be plan A, plan B. If this happens, okay, I'll do this. If this doesn't happen, I'll do this. But yeah, hopefully you guys are on that and paying attention to that. I mean, I posted some other things saying like some other biases if there were some other setups, but 3,300 held pretty nice. Good setup there. You can see why we look at those whole numbers a lot. Especially one like this with zeros. So when you look at 3,300, you can see right here, resistance made there. So if you were to ask me like why I took like it, there doesn't have to be a lot. I took the trade here. When this pullback was happening, I was scaling in, and then I was entering around 3,300. And then we get a retest of it here. Break up, retest, new high just made. Maybe pullbacks could continue. Kind of breaking out of this top part here. Breakout kind of happening. Like there could be pullbacks too. Like it could pull back to the previous structure. There's a structure here that just broke out. Like it could pull back potentially. But yeah, like in simplest terms, like it's trusting price with experience. In simple terms, like 3,300, that's a very psychological level. You can see the market early New York dumps and then just trades back above it. So I mean, there's a couple plays that there's right here. The first one you can see breaks right above 3,300. This is the 15-minute chart. And then to the left, you had resistance, but you made new highs. So you start to get that pullback. You start to get that pullback, right? Nice leg up that takes you into a high. Not only the 3,300, the whole number shows rejection, right? There's rejection at the whole number previously. Market breaks out. Coming into pre-London hours, so a good time where volume's opening up too. Like volume coming into these hours. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:15 in the morning, a little bit past 1. Couple hours before London session, like 1-2 hours before London opens. So volume, a good time where volume is also starting to open up as well. And then boom, springs off into London. But London was bearish. London was bearish. This came back to 3,305. Bounced. Comes to 3,300. Bounce. On the pullbacks, so you know it's bullish because this high was made. Right? It pushed up, made a new high. So you're thinking like it could pull back and continue. It could pull back and continue. It could pull back and continue, right? The first pullback goes to 3,310. And then it goes to 3,305. And then it hits 3,300. So if you're going every $5, like it makes a new high. It pulls back to 3,310, reacts off of it, scalping. It pulls back to 3,305, again, reacts off of it. Then it comes to 3,300, 3,295, reacts off of it. So on that first pullback, if you're looking at this high that got made, the pullbacks, they react off of 3,310, 3,305, and then 3,300 here. This could probably pull back to 3,305, maybe 3,300 again, maybe react one more time bullish, but it just made a pretty good move up. That probably would have, if you're in buys, that would have been probably a good time to take profit. It'll probably come back to like 3,305 from the looks of it, or maybe even lower. Maybe the market gives you a reaction at 3,305 or lower one more time to go up if it's going to keep sticking with bullish momentum. So it just shifted up. It could, these pullbacks, maybe watch this pullback on the 5 minutes, see how deep it can go. It could potentially test 3,305. It's above 3,310 right now. Well, you might get a move closer to 3,305, maybe 3,300 area for potentially one more reaction up as this pullback kind of matures and builds up. So yeah, you do have like a shift out here. You could keep an eye on that previous structure. It looks like it's making its way back to 3305 potentially. Look for a reaction potentially around 3305. That could maybe set the next leg up or hold bullish momentum. 3305 or lower, I would say around that area. If it comes to retest 3305, you could maybe get a reaction there, is what it's looking like. Looks like it's trying to break out. Well, just broke up to the upside a bit. Low, high, low. So this pullback may take itself up. Like this pullback is starting for maybe the next leg up. I would keep an eye on this pullback. Oh yeah, watch this pullback on the 5-minute. Losing my voice. I've been recording so much. Been talking so much to cameras. Literally gonna lose my voice in the next 30 days. Yeah, just watch this pullback. Keep an eye on it, maybe for the next hour or two. A couple hours, maybe. Don't know, just keep an eye on the pullback. Watch this pullback. The market took you into a new high. Maybe 3305 or 3300 gives you one more reaction. You can keep an eye on this pullback. See if this pullback turns into a bullish move up. It could do that. Drinking coffee. Oh, it's a cappuccino. It's a cappuccino. Yeah, maybe like 3305 area. Keep an eye on that. $33.05 or lower. It looks like this pullback may at some point form a low and reject as it goes lower. Like a deeper pullback is happening. Looks like it's on the way to 33.05. 33.05 or lower. So I'll watch this pullback. I'll let it come down. More red candles would be good. Like again, see this pullback. So a bigger pullback watching for closer to 33.05 area or lower, and maybe there's a reaction there that can take up for a next leg. Right now it's testing 33.10. 33.10 might hold, but that's kind of early. I think I would like to see if it comes down to 33.05. So that could be something to keep an eye on if you're looking for maybe a scalp or to see if gold keeps the bullish momentum. That's all I see right now. When we're looking at the chart. So it looks like it has like another drop coming here. Yeah, looks like it's on the way. So maybe keep an eye on that, guys, for today, or I mean probably a scalping setup. Like it looks like it's on the way down to 33.5 or lower. So you could keep an eye maybe on that area. You see the market just shifted out. Made this high, so it looks like we're gonna get there shortly. Maybe the 33.05 area. Keep an eye on that. That could give you a possible reaction. It's at 33.09. So I think this pullback, because it made the high from these lows and it just started like trading out, I think this pullback could set up into a move like this if 33.05 holds. So that's what I see on gold right now. That's all I'm really going to analyze for the day. Maybe a quicker session today. I couldn't hop on at 9. I was going to hop on at 9 today. I woke up at 8:30. Internet was on, and then it was off for like a little bit. We would have been streaming for a little while today, but for now, for the time that it is, that's pretty much like the move that the market could give us. If it doesn't give us this, there's not too much else to look at. I think the buys are still in control. We're above 3,300 overall. So it looks like we may be trying to stay above 3,300. That's still the analysis I want to kind of stick to. Staying above 3,300 overall. We'll have to check back tonight and see where it's at. It's at 3,310. So we're still above 3,300. 3,310 might not be the best entry. So that's why I wanted to see if it comes down to 3,305. That structure, well, we just had a big green candle. So you can see we just took out here. So on the 15-minute, you can see a nice resistance there. I don't know if it'll hold 33.10. We just have like 3 candles pulling back. That would be like if you get a rejection here and then a confirmation candle, like a bullish candle, maybe, yeah, it starts early. 33.10. Like this pullback, it made a new high. So this pullback's probably going to slingshot back up and just continue from the looks of it. It's starting a mini pullback on the 5-minute. That could stop. I would like it to come down to 33.05. It's doing this pullback. I think this pullback eventually maybe takes us into a next leg up. Right now it's testing 33.10. I would like to see if the market comes closer to 33.05. Does it have to do that? No. It is kind of trending right now. More bullish momentum. You have these lows. Low, low. We got this low, high, nice shift up, pullback, continues up, made a new high. So this is like a mini pullback. It's pretty shallow, aggressive. Does this stick? It could potentially. Like the bullet, it looks like the buyers are in control. It just touched 33.10, you can see. $5 level, $10 level. I mean, didn't go below. It went a little bit below. I would have liked it to go below there, but you can see what price is doing here and why sometimes you have to be quick if you're scalping, because that could have been a good entry there. Boom, it just spiked up like $3. So these whole numbers are sensitive. Price can react off of them, reject off of them, react off of them, even give us confirmation candles around them. But yeah, this pullback, like it could be shallow here, or it's going to turn into like a deeper pullback on the 15-minute and bigger on the 5-minute. But it looks like we're pulling back to set up for another leg up. Hopefully that makes sense. That's what I see. Hopefully what I'm saying here makes sense for you guys. There's this 5-minute pullback. It could turn into a bigger pullback, or it's going to be kind of shallow and aggressive. But it looks like we're getting like more of a pullback situation here to set up for another leg. Even if it does like this and comes down, something like this could happen, where there's a bigger pullback on the 5-minute and it turns into like a 15-minute pullback. It could go up, down, down, up, down, and accumulate before ripping up, or just rip up, right? It could form a bigger pullback on the 5-minute, which turns into like a 15-minute pullback. Or just, damn, this 33.10. You can see 33.10 just reacted fat right there. See, those whole numbers, like, they're sensitive. If the market has like a good flow of price, if something's in control, you can get used to trusting the pullbacks. Like if something is in control, those pullbacks can work. Like see how it broke above 33.10, hit 33.15, drops from 33.15, hits 33.10, right? If something's in control, these $5 levels come in handy. We can see 33.15 here. The market tapped and went down to 33.10 and just reacted off of 33.10. So if it just continues, guys, you kind of have to look for that type of flow if you're scalping, like breaking, going down and retesting these types of levels, or just wait for bigger pullbacks like on the 5-minute fit. Like a bigger pullback would be something like this that I'm circling, where the market goes down, up, but it makes lows, goes and it reacts like this. Or there's bullish candles, but then it goes down, and bullish candles, but then it goes down. A bigger pullback would be this turning into like a bigger structure is what I mean. More candles, but The 5 minutes still going down, and then it looks like the 15 minutes starting to pull back. Basically, like the 15 minute, looking how the 5 minute looks right now. Like the 5 minute, you can see a nice pullback. Basically, the 15 minute turning into that, right, would be like a bigger pullback. So yeah, like you could still watch it. I mean, missed some opportunities down here. You could still watch it. It looks like buyers are in control though, more so. Looks like the buyers are more in control at the moment for gold. So like every $5 you'll get quick reactions like that. Scalpers take advantage of price. The market can be very sensitive to reacting. You see there's a quick like $3 move there off of gold, off of 33.10 after it dropped from 33.15. You'll see a lot of holding, so supply and demand, like holding, like so when market's trending, like it can break these prices, hold on them, stay above the previous one, hold demand on the price and work off of them. Like if this keeps going up, let's just say this keeps going up through 33.15, or it makes a little bit of resistance at 33.15 and then breaks it, looking for a pullback when it breaks, or looking for a pullback when it breaks. Let's just say the market were to kind of come up to it and stall on it and then sort of break it, looking for retest when it breaks it. You can forward think a lot with these prices. When you get used to them, I mean, when you get used to them, they're really good levels to get a sense of what price could do next. But I would say what I said before still, like if you're scalping, I teach you guys a lot about scalping, right? Like there was a scalping trade right there that we could have took, but you know, it was quick. 33.10, right? There was a quick reaction there. That would have had, like, if there's traders who would have just entered there and already been out, right? So it's not looking at it now like, oh, can we get another reaction? It's like, oh, there was a reaction. You don't look, so like this, for instance, 33.10, it already reacted. You don't look at it now like, oh, should I buy? Because it's like it already reacted. You could have been in and out of a trade. So most of the time it's like waiting for the next price. Like wait for 33.05 if anything. Like I said, see if 33.05 gets tapped. Kind of like 33.10 just got tapped, right? If the price just stays above 33.10 and consolidates for a while here, then I would expect it to make the leg up from 33.10. If it just sits here on the 5 minute, stalls around, potentially could just push up. But you have some levels you can watch for. Obviously, there's just a reaction at 33.10. You can still wait for 33.05, like I said. Or keep an eye on some of these other levels like 33.10, 33.15. That's what I like to do, right? I like to analyze the market and see, like right now, I understand this pushed up and it's made a new high. So I want to see if there's a new low. Like I could have traded 33.10 there and maybe try to hold it. But I'm more interested in seeing if it goes to 33.05. You could keep an eye, like I said, on, if you're looking at a 5 minute, notice how the 5 minute chart here lines up with a lot of these whole numbers. And there's breaks, retests, price coming to, they're like magnets. Price comes to them, works off of them, trades back to them. You can see 3,300, 3,305, 3,310, 3,315. So if you look at like the flow of gold here, what we talked about last night and in Discord was just staying above 3,300 in general. 3,300 holding, seeing if buyers stay in control. They have throughout, you know, since last night, buyers have stayed above 3,300. In there, there's different, like if you're looking at other buys in there, like looky here, 33.10. The same thing just happened at 33.10. Look at 33.05. Right? Look at, you know, you got 3,300 again. There's some other reactions. As buyers stay in control above 3,300, you're waiting for these prices more so. Anything in the middle might be just maybe more advanced. Like look at even here, 33.10 again. So buyers are still above 3,300, right? So you can be monitoring some of these prices as the market, if buyers are above, as the market pulls back to these prices, as the market pulls back to some of these prices, as the market pulls back to these prices. So this could turn into maybe a 15-minute pullback or a bigger pullback, and that would make the 5-minute maybe look something like this. Go down, punch up, go down, punch up, go down. Something like that. Maybe the 5-minute has a bigger pullback if 33.10 doesn't hold. But if you look at the flow of price, it's interesting when you look at the flow of price and you look at the whole numbers. You have 33.10 here, 33.10, market breaks 33.10, hits 33.15, comes back down. Now it's staying above 33.10. Still, overall, 3,300 is holding, right? The bigger picture is still holding overall, right? So the bigger idea, like the bigger concept is still, you know, we're still kind of holding, staying above that 3,300 level, right? That's still the critical critical way of thinking here, in the sense of if we want buyers to maintain, if we're just sticking with that bullish bias, we still understand the fact that the market is still holding above 3,300, right? So that's still like the way of thinking, right? That still hasn't changed. It's showing us more of that. We can still keep an eye on it. Like I'm gonna wrap it up in a few minutes. Keep an eye on 33.05, guys, and we'll see maybe if we'll see if we get any reactions there off of that 33.05. If not, you gotta like scalp and have that. You got a momentum trade, you know. And maybe, you know, there's different experiences for everyone. Some of you guys might be really learning the scalping, like how I view the charts, and you know, can understand more of the things that I'm saying probably than some other people who might be new to trading. Yeah, you may have to watch the momentum here and look for signs in this range, 33.15, 33.10. Otherwise, next range, 33.05, 3300. Like I said, wait for 33.05, if anything. But we're going to wrap it up in a few here. See if it pulls back, maybe. Bitcoin be ripping, son. Let it do its thing, because then it would be, see, the 15-minute would then turn into like, it would be a 15-minute pullback, which would just be like the 5-minute maybe doing something like this, going down, going up, going down, going up, going down, accumulating a bit. Bitcoin, yeah. Is it gonna crash from here? Who knows? No. What you gotta understand is there's just a lot, like at the rate Bitcoin's being bought in faster than it can be mined. So, and how it's mined. At the rate it's mined, and the miner, like at the rate the miners mine Bitcoin, and at the rate that it's being bought in, demand is exceeding how the supply comes out. That's catching up, that supply, because there's a limited supply with this thing, and there's a good percentage and a good amount still to grab over the next 4 years, 8 years, 10 years, with how it comes out and how it's mined. And depending on how these countries, these nations, these companies, ETFs and people want to approach it, some people might have the strategy of just buying and holding it forever and trying to get as much as they can, and just there could be a competition in that space of a race to acquire it. So that's why, like, there's a lot of demand with it. I mean, it doesn't take a genius actually really Like, you guys might be seeing all these news headlines and these interviews and these podcasts about Bitcoin and this. It honestly doesn't take a fucking genius to figure it out, to be honest. Really. Like, all you got to do is read the white paper. Like, you might be seeing so many headlines nowadays. Like, I said this during Christmas too, and coming into New Year. It doesn't take a genius to really, like, you don't have to have a high IQ to really figure it out. It might be the people with the highest IQs that figure every reason why not to buy it. Some of the smartest people in the world are against Bitcoin because they're just so smart that they can analyze every single situation that would go wrong with it. So they convict themselves not to do anything with it. And they just, oh, we got charged. Laptop is dying. Fucking hell, man. Why can't all these ports work at once? Gotta load a bit. But like I said, recording this, right? Yeah. I've been recording for 30 minutes. Like I said, it doesn't take a genius to understand and figure Bitcoin out, why it's going to do what it's going to do and why it's doing what it does, why it's number one and how it's being adopted. It doesn't really take a genius. Doesn't take a genius. Yeah, I let the battery get low there. Let me let it reboot. Wait a bit here. We're letting it reboot. Let's wait. We'll wait a couple minutes here. Yeah, a minute. We'll wait a couple minutes. My laptop charger wasn't plugged in, unfortunately. So give me a couple minutes. Let this thing charge a bit. Bump, bump. Oh, that camera's dusty. All right, so let me know if you guys can hear me. We're gonna wrap it up soon anyways, shortly, probably just